So, beginning today, Yin practice, just in a comfortable cross-legged sitting position, using any cushions you wish. Rest your hands on your lap or on your knees, as I am here. And as always, however we begin or whatever posture we decide to start our practice with, just finding a really comfortable and a connection with yourself, with your mat, with your breath, and just closing the eyes really helps. Just to bring us into, like magic, into practice, into this time, and to your mat. Really quite strange. Just a little yoga mat, closing of the eyes. Suddenly a whole different world appears, or we're involved with. Because we know this is time just to work deeply with and on yourself. So tonight, this afternoon's Yin practice of deep, slow stretching. Some of it passive, but most of it quite active, without being or forcing, as we know. So just finding a comfortable position in each of the postures we do, where we're not completely, unless we're doing a passive posture, of course, completely relaxed, but there's something going on in the joint, whatever joint we'll be working on. Joints. So even through this practice today, we'll be, of course, considering shoulders, hips, spine, everything in between, and everything towards the fingers and toes. So relax the eyes in their sockets. Just have a completely natural, comfortable breath throughout your practice today. Now, breath in every practice should be comfortable. And whatever the style of yoga, although we obviously use a lot more breath awareness of movement in other practice, if we make the breath too engaged or too much thought going into it, it diminishes the calmness and the peace of the practice. But in today's practice, Yin Yoga, slow deep breath in and out, but comfortable, of course, and natural. And just following where you're guided, or where you feel, how you want to feel or breathe this afternoon. Through the nose. If you're feeling a belly expansion and a chest expansion, fine. But just being natural with it. Even softer with the diaphragm, or more space for the diaphragm. To move up and down, create the compression and the vacuum that's created in the lungs when we breathe out. Incredible. Yeah. Breathe in for 1, 2, 3. Breathe out 3, 2, 1. Let the shoulders completely relax, the elbows, the hands lightly on the knees. Breathe in 1, 2, 3. Find the balance of the head. Exhale 3, 2, 1. Just find your center through your sitting bones. Breathe in 2, 3. So maybe lean back a little or lean forwards a little. Breathe out. So looking for that completely the easiest or most comfortable position you can find. Continue breathing, not by forcing or pushing, but just by Subtly adjusting your center of balance, feeling both sit bones, keeping the chest back, not pinching into the back at all, but extending up through the crown of the head. Lifting the front of the body, creating a space, big space in your torso of length, of width. Yeah. Just a couple of little stretches, little movements into our shoulders and neck to begin today. So release your chin down towards your body. Continue exploring, stretching the back of the neck. And this could be a feeling of really letting go. So try to let go and feel safe that you can let your head drop without rounding the upper back. And even that, although we're working back muscles, of course, and muscles to retain our sitting position, a really softness and passive stretch in your neck. And then gently breathe in, lifting the chin up and slightly a little further from parallel. And as you lift your chin up and even with your eyes closed, feel your gaze is halfway up the wall in front of you. Still look for a little space in the back of the neck. Of course, we're shortening that space. Relax the shoulders and just take it to a comfortable place. And then release, chin back to the center. Turn your head to the left. As you breathe in, come back to the center. Turn your head to the right. The beautiful thing about any yoga practice, come back to the center. Good. Make some circles just at the top of your spine. The wonderful thing is this real deep awareness of your precious little body. So as you're doing your circles here, noticing muscles lengthen, shorten, contract, feel a little bit tight maybe. And just send a lovely message of just relax into it. Just soften their little tight muscles. We're okay. Reversing the rotation. Working with as much action as kindness, compassion. Good. Just beautiful moving the body. Simple as that. One very renowned Ashtanga yoga teacher. Ashtanga didn't teach much in philosophy and too much background in that during the practice, or even breathing, besides the breath of practice. And great practitioner and teacher of Ashtanga, and he just stated that it was just moving the body is just so fantastic. Come back to center through that. Open the eyes or drift off into stuff. Fingers towards your shoulders and make some nice rotations, small rotations in your shoulder joints. Elbows coming forwards and up and back. Drifting off there into strangeness. So I sometimes do. Let's come back to the practice. And back to center and reverse the rotation. Those little shoulders today. Nice. Okay, sometimes it's really nice when the temperatures stay a little bit brighter, a bit warmer. The body might feel a little more open. Certainly for me, of course, we notice the difference between winter and summer. Release the hands back towards your knees, sit up nice and tall. Interlace the fingers, push your way through the palms, stretch up through the arms. Release them down halfway, change the interlace, push away as you exhale. Take them up gently as you breathe in. Good. Release, change the interlace, exhale away. Inhale up and hold. Just stretch out a little bit through the shoulders, through the waist. Keep the chest back. Have a little movement just to open up before we come to holding some postures here. And then release, change the interlace once again, push away. Stretch up when you're ready. Good. Soften the shoulders. So I might feel a little tight in the neck, and so I'll just move, or in the waist. And then release. Okay, release the hands. So we're going to do a little thing with the shoulders here, and we'll come back to it later, so try to remember. It's kind of a crossing of the arms. So we're going to hold this stretch a little. So drop the chin down, raise your right hand up like we were doing this posture, but we're not doing that posture. So bring your right hand, and then the same with the left hand. So reaching your hands towards the opposite shoulder blades with the chin down. So the fingers just resting kind of on the shoulders or on the upper back, wherever you feel. So we've got a cross of the arms. And then just with the chin down, find that position. And then just lift the head slightly till you feel a nice stretch in your shoulders and hold. So the chest lifting a little, the gaze lifting slightly, depending how far down you are with the arms. So there's a cross on the arms, a lifting of the chest a little without over hyperextending the spine. Just hold on to this and use the strength in your neck and your head to just press back to open up the armpit, front shoulders. Breathe here. It's nice. So now just switching it into the mindset of a yin practice where each posture will hold a little bit longer. So of course we don't want to be in a place where we're really suffering or over trying, but embracing how things change by holding them steady and diving deep into the stretch and allowing this incredible body of ours to do its thing in repairing, replenishing, and healing. Yeah. And then release. Gently release the arms first of all, and bring them back down towards your knees. Making a note of which arm we did the right arm first. Hopefully you did the same. So maybe quite a nice sensation as you come out. Change sides. Left hand towards your back. Right hand. Shuffle the hands across. So drop the chin down towards your sternum first of all, because we're going to use that to open up into the shoulders. So hands just lightly on the shoulders, and then lifting the head. So the head your hands might slide a little, go somewhere different. Just don't force, just go with that. And just feel a little bit of strain, a little bit of tension. Certainly an effort in being here. And keep a firm press of your head in towards your arms and lift the elbows up and slightly back as an idea. Without over back bending. Nice. And breathe. And then release. Release the arms. Bring them down back onto your knees. Lovely. then from there, release. And in fact, we'll come to a little active child's pose. Let's have our knees together, feet together, pointing the toes away. Taking your time to sit your buttocks back towards your heels. Keep your hands forwards. And just shuffling your ribs up a little closer towards your knees, lengthening your spine. Walking the hands forward, so almost pulling yourself forward, drawing yourself, lengthening. A little movement here, a little pull through the fingers, and there's a deeper stretch in the side of the lower back, waist. And then let the head relax. Nice and wide through the upper back. Keeping your thumbs and first fingers particularly grounded, as well as the other fingers, but an evenness. Letting your forehead relax and possibly touch the earth, or use a cushion, or just leave it slightly off the earth. Comfortable breath, filling, expanding your back. Gently dropping your armpits down towards the earth. Noticing where there's tension, you can release and let go, clear away. So in every posture, a chance to come to the essence or purity or a lovely feeling by letting go what we don't need to be doing or even thinking, and just being. And this incredible body going about, the incredible work that's constantly going on. Strength and ability to be resilient and strong. And the legs, the knees, so they're comfortable. And there's so much just to explore instinctively. Maybe your awareness just comes to a little tightness in your hips and a subtle movement, mental release, softening. You're like, yes, nice. Treating your body really well with this breath. Good. And then we'll come up from there gently, push into your palms, make your way up. And from there come to lying down on your front. So you might need to stay on the mat to just walk your knees back a little bit. So you have your whole mat space. Stretch those legs away, chin to the earth, backs of hands to the earth by the side of your body. Drop the shoulders. Just when that thought, when that suggestion arises, or when it comes as an idea, drop the shoulders, and there they go. Relax the legs, the buttocks. There they go. So, just having a little chat with ourselves makes such a difference. Space through the upper back. Chin on the earth, or turn your head if that's particularly uncomfortable. So think of this as a opposite of belly down shavasana. Not so comfortable with the neck if the chin is on the floor, but Allow your body to be deep into the earth. It's actually very nice for the lower back, they say. Anything, especially at the end of the day, decompressing if we've been standing a lot. So bring back some space into the spine. Yeah. Once again, maybe from about now, we start to really feel the posture. Maybe that coincides with me being a little quiet too. Just be patient, just a little faith and trust. Just stay with the breath, try not to overthink or think I should be doing more, or even sometimes when we're doing a posture of how is this benefiting me? I'm not trying to do anything. Very difficult to change that programming in a positive way from that thought of I have to be doing something to be of worth, for it to be of worth, of value. So everything's going that way, yang. But as we know, relaxation, relaxing a busy mind and a worked body, tight body, so necessary for a little bit of balance and harmony. Otherwise we really will go crazy, more crazy. Okay, let's come to a nice Sphinx posture. So elbows come forwards underneath the shoulders, hands forwards, front hips, lower belly on the earth. So just asking ourselves, am I really just hanging out here? Just letting the body just drop down towards the earth, which is really quite pleasant too, elbows underneath, not too wide. But let's take that to an active position here. So push down through the elbows and just move your sternum forwards, or think of moving your sternum forwards and up and pulling the shoulders directly back and lifting the gaze. So suddenly there's probably a little tension in the back, relaxing the buttocks, although they will be doing something here. Just try and make sure they're not over clenched. We could keep the legs slightly active too. Push down through the elbows. Just find your place where you're going to hang out for 2 or 3 minutes. So that press down into the elbows is quite a strain on the shoulders too. Just think of bringing the shoulders, you can see your shoulders just through the periphery of your eyes. Hide them, bring them back. Not over rotating them back as I'm doing here. A little bit too much stress, but just directly back. So there's still some room between your spine and the inside edge of your shoulder blades. It still feels quite broad. And of course, some postures we will be consciously bringing those shoulder blades towards the spine and so forth and rotating the arms more. So they're not wrong, it's not wrong to do that. Just with each posture and each stretch, just defining the incredible differences we can find and make to get the best out of each position. Stay and breathe. Maybe if you haven't already, you close your eyes, and closing the eyes, you can see a little bit clearer. And stay completely focused on your sensations and your breath, on this. And how you're probably just adjusting from your instinct or feeling to create the most open you can be within your work, within strong posture. We're still here, still breathing. Sweet, natural breath. Face is relaxed. Maybe now is another suggestion we can offer ourselves of bringing that sternum forwards and pulling the elbows, shoulders back, creating a bit more of a lift, a bit more movement in the upper back as well. And then come down to lying on your front. In fact, make a little pillow with your hands and rest your chin on that pillow. Taking the elbows out wide and turn the heels out. Let the legs relax. So in doing this, maybe now we just realize, okay, yeah, my legs, my buttocks, my back was working in that last position. Now, hopefully, very relaxed. Feel the breath filling the abdomen, filling the ribs. And exhale away any holding, any gripping, any stuff. A lovely chance just to dissolve and release between the postures. Let's take a little Bhujangasana. We won't hold it so long, Cobra posture. But we'll bring our hands down underneath the shoulders. Stretch those legs away, re-engage the legs a little. Push through the palms. And just come into a really nice low Cobra. So we're not lifting so high, keeping your low rib cage or low ribs on the earth. Thinking about the upper back here, the shoulders, the elbow. Pulling those guys back and down. Lifting through the top of your sternum. Now press firmer into the hands. Once you've found that space, stretch the toes away, lift the gaze forwards and hold. So the front of your hips are pressing into, feeling firm into the ground, into your mat. Moving your very upper sternum, top of the sternum forwards and up. Breathe. Come down, of course, if you need to. Nice firm press into both hands. Okay, drawing the shoulders back. Pressing or walk the hands back a little further towards your chest. Press into the palms. Push down into the hands and come back to your hands and knees. Plant the hands underneath your shoulders. Spread the fingers. Space rotation through the upper arms comfortably. Lifting the belly. Dropping the spine down between the shoulder blades. So if we're not sure, or just feeling that, so we're as feeling like a tabletop, you can play with it a little. Lift the spine up, let it sit down inside of those shoulder blades comfortably. Lift the belly, lift the front hips forward. Now press into the palms. Find the position here, the correct positioning, and it's a lovely, active little stretch here. We're going to come into melting heart. So just begin to walk your hands forwards, keeping your hips above your knees. Once again, coming down towards your chin or forehead or cushion. And pressing your hands into the mat and pulling your hips away from that breath. And this one will stay a couple of minutes. Maybe you notice little openings appear where we've been gripping or where we tighten the joints or tendons. Just relaxing and softening. Go as deep as you like. Just still breathing with a smile. Lovely. Gently walk the hands back to all fours, to your hands and knees. Find your tabletop position. Let the neck relax back to a comfortable place, especially if you were quite deep in there, so long through the back of the neck. And we'll take a downward facing dog. Palms grounded, legs bent. Walk your feet back, keep your legs really bent if you need to. So having said that, if you feel, oh, I just want to come into a lovely down dog, then ignore me and keep your legs active. But trusting yourself and knowing you're not just straightening your legs right away because maybe I am or you would like to, but just feeling. As long as you're feeling and mindful of how you're taking your downward facing dog right now, and it feels good, then fantastic. It's up to you. the legs are tight, keep them bent. Let the head relax a little. Push the hips back. Hold. Not too long, because we're going to come to pigeon. So the right knee comes forwards towards the right wrist, stepping that left leg away, having your right foot towards the hip, or if you wish to, bring it up a little bit higher today. Bring it up a little bit higher. So sometimes if my right heel is towards that left hip, it's a lot more comfortable than it is when I bring this right foot up. But it's a kind of place where I know I need to work at to open up fully. So, or a little more into the hip and around that. So just find your challenging position here with your right leg, lower leg, either towards the hip or a bit further forward. And use your hands. Okay, listen now, feel your lower back. How does that feel? Keep your hips square. And left hip in line with the right hip. Of course, use a cushion underneath your right buttock if you feel that's going to be so much better for you. And then walk your hands back till you find where you can press into your hands or your fingertips or your fists. Sometimes quite nice too, especially if your wrists feel like there's too much of this flexion in the wrist. You can come to your fists. Also gives you more room to lift, to open up. Stay on palms, but and open up the chest, gaze forward slightly up. So hopefully there's stuff going on here, as in a little bit of discomfort or a little bit of stretch in the right buttock or back of the right leg rather, or buttock. A little bit around the knee, but make sure that knee is comfortable, your right knee. And you're still active with your left leg, stretching that away, getting a nice stretch into that hip. And as you move your left hip forwards very slightly, increasing that stretch. And then once again, let's press into the palms or fists a little more and hold on to that extension and lift. Bring the shoulders directly back, chest forwards, long spine, long neck. Oh, just finding a place of lovely controlled action, a lovely space, beautiful. And it's a process, of course it is. Every single time you do every single posture. And it's an amazing process of what we can find. Yeah. And then we're going to take it passive, so we're going to fold forwards, or passive with the upper body and relax. So walk your hands forwards, retaining, taking our time, considering my upper body or upper body being as long as it can be as we fold. So there's such a big difference between moving our body quickly into this lovely time we give ourselves in this practice to know that it doesn't matter if it's going to take me 20 seconds or even more to find my posture, because it's going to be worth it, so that when I'm here now for 2 minutes, I can relax into it. I would hope there's still, for most, or there would still be this quite deep sensation in the back of the right leg. But if it's really comfortable there, just breathe into that. The work is being done. So a bit like Shavasana, see how much with each out breath you can let go. Shoulders, fingers wrists, elbows. And we're going to change sides with that. So through a little downward facing dog, walk your hands back, tuck your left toes under, feel your hands back firm into the ground, push into the hands, lift that left knee. Gently lift that right leg back, come into downward facing. Notice how the right leg might feel a little strange, or the left leg feels strange, different rather from each other in the hip. A little stretching downward facing just as a transition posture. And then we'll change sides. So move the body weight forwards, press into the right toes, bring your left knee to your left wrist. Defining our position here, walking that right leg back. Bringing the left foot up a little bit higher. If you wish to work a little deeper, or if that feels really comfortable for you, but this doesn't, then just maybe alternate or just try, just so you feel as deeper stretch as you want to feel in this posture right now today. Rolling the right hip forwards, hands. Walking the back slowly, coming to your fists if you did the other side, or your hands once again. Pressing down, so then pushing down to create the lift. Space in the shoulders, back, chest up, right hip forwards, left thigh parallel to the mat. And breathing here. Lovely. Beautiful. Just gently teasing that front right hip forwards. Not to overstretch or over rotate forwards, but just find your evenness through your sacrum. And firm press, again, just press a little bit more firmness into the hands and notice that little extra lift and extension, and breathe. As much as we're lifting or feeling an extension up through crown of head, drop your hips down, let them go down and soften down. And breathe. And the more deeply in contact with yourself you are, the more, and with your body, the more you will just notice, oh my dear, there's unnecessary movement or positioning in my shoulder, in my head, or somewhere in your body. You'll just instinctively be drawn there, and And then you'll find a bit more space and work out how to find a bit more space, how to open it up or where to press, because you'll experience and you know. Breathe, just ourselves and yourself. Good. And without moving anything except the upper body, the hands, stretching your body forwards, taking the elbows out wide, letting your head come down, letting your chest come towards your left leg. Taking the elbows far forward in a way that they feel comfortable in your shoulders. Now letting your fingers relax. So I create some kind of diamond with the hands. I don't know, it just feels good. But if you want to take your hands forwards or out to the side or somewhere slightly different, feel free. Just want them to be comfortable. And you can drop the shoulders, let them go, let the armpits release down without pressing. As you exhale, just relax your head heavy, or even a conscious little press of your forehead, and then relax. Incredible that you press your forehead into the mat and feel your back neck muscles contracting, and then relax. Leave them relaxed. Stay and breathe. So they're a bit like Shavasana, these passive stretches or passive postures here, and there just comes a moment maybe where it just suddenly just feels magical, or a lovely connection and space. I know we do our practice here today for 90 minutes or a little less, but somewhere around there. But, some classes I used to go to, Yin, we used to do a 3-hour class. Fantastic. We'll do them one day. But as is the life we live, for someone to really think of doing a yoga class for 3 hours is, it's great. Good. Okay. Downward facing dog. Ease back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Maybe now if you did feel a difference in your legs and hips, they feel a little bit more similar now. So from here we're going to work into some forward bends. So another breath or two in your downward facing, and then we're going to come to sitting. So we'll just walk our feet forwards and bend the legs and sit down. Use your hands. Stretch your left leg forwards. We'll start with Janushirasana. Right leg popping into the upper thigh, inner thigh. right knee out to the side, front tip of your left sit bone. Check before we go anywhere. Okay, this knee is good. You need some support. Put a cushion under there. Make it good. Left leg extended. Forward fold over the left leg. Breathing in and breathing out. So just begin to move with your breath. Just to pause as you breathe in, reaffirm space from that left hip, and breathe out, fold. So I might spend a little while here hanging out either in my hands or I'm on my elbows, because I know time is on my side and we haven't been moving dynamically. So just allowing some space and allowing the body to find its way into the stretch. So the moment you reach a point of, ooh, and maybe our instinct is to press a little harder, or again come to that idea of, let me just press on through that and stretch, and to just soften and slowly wait. And then maybe in a few breaths' time, you're in a position to fold a little deeper. Take your hands where you feel. So I've got one hand around the foot, one hand on the floor. Wherever they are, the shoulders are relaxing back. The eyes are relaxed, if they're closed even. Soften. And just breathing into this. And if you're feeling slightly uncomfortable, then great. That's where we want to be. And that might be in the right hip, might be in the left leg. But let's just stay and breathe. Just slightly uncomfortable, but pleasant discomfort. Or a stretch, just that feeling of a little bit of tension. Good tension. Now, quietness, connection, breathe. Release anything that's not needed. Do you get any waves of movement, of surrender, or change, feeling in the muscles, the joints? You made a difference without pushing or over trying. Lovely. Just to give this time, we know these postures, but to spend more time with them is amazing. Really so good. Lovely. And continuing with our hips here, we'll come back up, walk the hands back. Release the right leg, and we're going to come to Tiryangu Kaikapada. So this one with the leg rolling forwards, so support yourself with your left hand, where we tuck the right foot towards the back of the mat. So the right knee face forward, a little bit away from the left leg. You can find a bit of space pulling back the flesh from the left sit bone. Bring your fingertips either side. Acknowledge however everything here feels. Check this knee is okay, of course. If this knee really doesn't like this, we can just stretch the right leg out to the side. Take a forward bend. Slowly come forwards, taking your time. Aware of your alignment and positioning. Conscious of your movement, of your action. Keeping the left heel on the floor, the toes extended up. And if you feel your left leg, if you have a hand on that left foot, if you feel your left leg is rolling out to the side, just roll it back to center a tiny bit. Just to create a bit more of a stretch in the left leg hip. So, stay here and breathe. Acknowledge for yourself that it's a little bit uncomfortable. I'm feeling a stretch. But yeah, I'm good to stay here for another 10, 15 breaths. Perhaps. And if we're not, give yourself a break. Back off a little bit. Find your sweet spot and breathe. Shoulders down. Lovely. It's a deep meditation on our body and our breath. Finding space. Beautiful. And then gently, gently, gently awaken up out of there. Continuing with our right hip here. We're now going to take Paradasana or gate posture. So now we're going to open up that right knee out to the side and the right foot behind. So we've moved this right leg into 3 different positions through these postures here. So this posture, folding towards the left leg, we can bring our elbow inside of that knee and the right palm to the lower back. And just open up. So press the left knee in. If we start here, the right buttock is a little lighter. There's a little bit of tiny bit of air space between your right buttock, of course. If you're feeling good to come down deeper, then go deeper. Move your elbow to the side of your mat, your left elbow. Take your hand to the inside of the foot, left shoulder to the right knee. Opening up your right side again. Might even take full posture here if you wish. And open up. Okay, we're going to stay a little bit longer. So, if we're going full posture, we won't stay forever. But, yeah, awkward place. What do I do with my head here? Oh, it's quite strange. Look a little to the right. Okay, look for where that excess tension is and soften into it. Twist right rib cage. Right hip down. Good. Left hand can come to the back if you wish, or wherever you like. Twist open right side. Don't stay if it becomes too uncomfortable, too challenging. And just release that right hand and feel a big smile just from giving yourself that freedom to back off a little. It's okay, I don't have to drive it so far. Okay, and let's release from there. So gently, some big forward bend, some big twisting going on in that posture. Ease your way up. I'm just going to come here just so we can see the next. So now we're going to bring the right foot forwards and into half a shoelace. So bring the left leg across slightly actually. And bring the right knee towards your left knee. Right foot to the left hip. Fold forwards over the right leg. So just shuffled the left leg across so the heel is in line with your center. So we could be feeling this. For me, it's in the left leg. In a nice way. Chin might just rest on top of the knee. Hands comfortably forwards, not doing anything in particular, supporting you. And with each out breath, just fold. And the head relax. Yeah. Nice birds tonight. Time is our friend. Is our healer. Beautiful. Okay, gently come up from there with all those full postures with the opposite, with the left leg. So stretch your right leg forwards. Good. Left foot in towards the right thigh, Janushirasana, chin to the shin. Again, the right leg might come across slightly. Check from here, grounded through the sit bones, long through the spine. Fold forwards till you meet that little point of, hold. Soften, settle. Fold a little further. Grow into the stretch to where you take it right now. Today, in your body. Shoulders back. Space in your neck. Hold and breathe. Stretching in that right leg. Foot flex slightly. Heel pressing. Sliding away. Hips level. Now, what will happen in the next couple of minutes here? What are you going to change? What's going to be suggested from yourself, from inside to where you can find some space? What you can let go of and soften. Retaining the work in the bits that are working, the parts of the body that are active. But letting go of that baggage, that excess stuff in your face, in your shoulders, in your hands if you're not using it. And breathe. Comfortable, deep, even breath. And yes, hopefully just notice how, not only physically, but also mentally, how where you are right now feels quite different to when you first came into this very posture. And all we've done is remain steady and explored and retained the work and let go of the baggage. And the body's been doing some incredible stuff. Lovely. Oof. Okay. Breathe in, coming up, or moving with your breath. Come back up. Where do we go next? Pada. Left knee forwards, left foot back. We're just falling over to the right sit bone. Try to come into both sit bones. Cause the support underneath your right buttock. Breathe in and breathe out when you're ready. When you're ready, fold. How's that left knee? It's okay. Incredible. These slight movements, just explore where your knee feels okay, where your hip feels just okay. Can make a big difference. Not coming forward, but of course listening to your body fold. Strain going on in finding the position, but we've got time here. We'll take a few breaths and establish the space. Then fold. Stretch forwards and down. Once again, almost every time we do this, drop the shoulders down. Find space in the neck. That old tension just always comes in. And it's a process of noticing, observing, checking in with your body. And breathing. Slow, deep stretches. Slow, deep healing. And that process continues because if you do feel the tension in your shoulders when we adjust that space, they probably crept up again. They're cheeky like that. So we have to relax them back down again. Ah, beautiful. Check the right leg isn't rolling out to the side. Use your hands, your arms, elbow just to press to bring it back to center if it is. Lovely. And then we'll come up. Take the left knee out. So the hips open. Find your right sit bone. Gate posture. Folding and twisting. Give yourself a moment. The moment suddenly, or maybe everything just settles before you even move into the next posture with the full posture. So come with full posture if you wish. Start with the elbow. Once you fold forwards, that left buttock is going to lift up and towards the foot. Left arm to lower back and roll that left shoulder rib cage open or towards your right foot. We have a choice, of course. Open up your left rib cage, left elbow. Find your stretch today where you want to be. Breathe. Where you feel and can acknowledge that this is going to be the most benefit for you for the next 2 minutes or a little less. So even if it's a strong, if we're in full posture here, we want it to become more comfortable as opposed to become more difficult. Or at least as uncomfortable as we begin. If it gets more uncomfortable, then we're just overdoing it. And it's a long time to hold. So it's okay to move that hand or come back a different position in the posture. But knowing us, we'll probably try and stay. Stretch and open. And then very gently come up. So considering you've got a deep twist, you've got some flexion, there's a lot of stuff going on there. So ease your way up gently, especially when you hold for a while. Good. Take a breath, feel good. Then we'll can use that left hand to come forwards for the left leg. And we did a little half shoelace forward bend. So left knee to the right, on top of the right knee, left foot behind. Hips are square. My right leg moves across a little towards the center of the body. And we'll fold forwards from there. And that body weight pressing or moving forwards and down brings that work into that right leg. Maybe for you, maybe somewhere else. And breathe. Listen deep, as always, with our yin, or the deep hip stretches. So the practice of yin is set to work more in the big joints there, the hips, the shoulders, working more on the connective tissues. with the idea that if we can be as relaxed and calm and non-active as we can in the stretches, then the nervous system is relaxed and the healing part of that process can take place, the repair. And if you're in real connection or keep coming back to feeling connected with your body from your toes to your shoulders, shoulders down, crown of head, you'll be constantly feeling or even making tiny adjustments and feeling heavier through the upper body. Letting go, holding by releasing the heavy upper body weight, deepening that stretch. Nice, lovely. Head relax a tiny bit more. Yeah. And then release and gently make your way back to center. Have a few breaths just settling there. So just reminding you of the arm position we did earlier. We're not going to do this here. We're going to do this lying on our back. Really nice. So remembering the little cross of the arms and the elbows back behind. We can actually lie down and do that. So in semi-supine. So come to lying down on your back. Have your feet and knees hip width apart. And yeah, give your body that time just to feel its way into the earth now. And having your legs, feet on the floor, feet and knees hip width apart. Just let the weight of those legs, buttocks relax a little. So yeah, now let's think about that arm position we just that we did earlier that I just showed you. So we're going to lift the head, feed your right hand to your left shoulder blade, and your left hand to your right shoulder blade, and just move that right arm across so your head sits on your right arm, and then lay back down, take the elbows back and down. And have a lovely stretch in your shoulders. And we're going to bring this in, or have this arm position in our little kind of windscreen wiper twist. It's not really a twist. It's we're going to move the legs over to the left, but where your feet are in your mat, they kind of just stay in the imprints, but move over to the side of the feet, so the knees stay well away from your body. Again, it's more into the hips really. And we're going to roll over to the left hip until your left leg comes towards the floor, and your right leg stays mid-air, but it's towards the left leg. And try not to think of bringing that right knee up towards your body, but more diagonally away. And hopefully there's a real nice little front hip stretch. And breathe here. So we've got the shoulder thing going on. And you've got a lovely little twisty to release into in the next couple of minutes. So the head is on the pillow of your arms. Nice and relaxed. Stretching through the upper chest, armpits. Left knee, left leg towards the floor. The knee doesn't particularly touch the thigh. And right leg is just more we can let go, the more that will begin to release towards the left. Sometimes here I'm directing that right knee away from me even further. If that feels where you want to get to in that hip. I think a lot of the time when I'm practicing, when we're doing a posture, is just exploring where, and it's really subtle how just to get into that right spot that your body needs to stretch. Some days we find it. Nice. Some of these stretches we can stay for 15 minutes. One day. Okay, change sides. Roll yourself back to the center. Establish your semi-supine position. So feet in line with your hips, feet hip width apart, knees hip width apart. Lift the head. Oh, release those arms and change the cross. And of course, some of these things might be quite a strain in some of us, and they might be effortless in others. But it's all good. So find that. Take the elbows back, down, a little stretch. If you're feeling good and ready, roll over to the outside of your right foot. Let your left knee drop away from your body, away from the center. Don't think of lifting it up too high. So the outside of your right foot, the inside of your left foot, those blades of your feet are still on the ground. The right leg is coming towards the earth, maybe touching with the thigh. And the left leg is just hanging out. And while it's hanging out, it's fighting. So just explore a little bit of softening in that hip. Let the knee go where it wants. Might move down a little bit. Find that lovely opening in the hip. And release gently bring your legs back to the center. Lift your head slightly just so you can release your arms out. Lay your head back into the ground with a nice long neck. Release the arms down by your side. Press into the elbows, find a lift through your back, and then release your back down nice and long and wide. Slide your legs away from there. Take your legs comfortably wide, hip width, or the width of your mat. Again, just release any flesh or find that space in your buttock, lower back area. For Shavasana here, taking your legs, letting your feet fall out. A little movement through the arms, just a little bend into the elbows, a little movement in your shoulders. And then we're just going to rest one hand, say our right hand on our belly, our left hand on our heart center. And just find a comfortable place, somewhere around there. So your right hand might be just finding a bit of your hip to rest on, your left hand, your rib cage. Checking that there's comfort in your shoulders, and the elbows are out wide. Let the shoulders drop. Right now, just let the shoulders relax. Close your eyes. Feel your little breath expanding, maybe right hand more than left hand, or lower hand. So just a natural abdominal breath. And if that feels uncomfortable, you don't want to put your hands here, then just lay them by your side. Using your own energy from your hands just to bring some touch, some healing, some balancing of energy into the lower and heart center, the lower body area. And heart center. Relax your knees, thighs, buttocks, toes. Soften your face, your eyes, your jaw, your tongue. Let yourself dissolve into the mat. It's a wonderful way to spend some time at the end of the week. This beautiful yin mindset and awareness. Let your whole body relax. This beautiful simplicity and ease of simply being. And through practicing with this physical body, releasing so much mental tension and all of that stuff we carry around us. Creating or coming to a lovely space, freedom, precious moments. Of course, if you still have your hands on your body and it's just not feeling right for you, or you're not so happy there, take the arms out. In fact, I'm going to just release my arms out back to Shavasana now, tradition. Because sometimes certain things feel just right, sometimes they don't. And we're perfectly capable of changing, allowed to change so that we come to where we want to come to, feel in the breath. So long as you feel good wherever you are, stay and breathe. Beautiful moments. Final posture as always, in every practice. Some people do whole practice, just waiting to get to the Shavasana. It's a beautiful space. Good. I'll quietly leave you in your own space this afternoon. Thank you for joining me today. Beautiful Yin practice. Have a great afternoon, evening. I'll see you very soon.